Jack Elam, born William Scott Elam on November 13, 1920, in Miami, Arizona, emerged as one of Hollywood's most recognizable and enduring character actors. His early life was filled with both personal and professional challenges, which would go on to shape his tenacity as an actor. After serving in the United States Navy during World War II, Elam developed a sense of discipline and resilience that would become foundational to his career. It was in the post-war years that he decided to pursue acting, studying at the University of Southern California. With a striking and distinctive appearance, particularly due to a misaligned eye, Elam quickly gained attention. Rather than viewing this physical trait as a disadvantage, he embraced it, crafting a unique on-screen presence that would become a defining element of his career. Rise to fame in Hollywood. Jack Elam's Hollywood career spanned over 5 decades and saw him become one of the most memorable faces in cinema. Often cast in roles as villains or eccentric characters, his rugged, unconventional look and commanding presence made him an ideal fit for westerns, a genre where he would go on to leave an indelible mark. Films like Once Upon a Time in the West, 1968, The Night of the Grizzly, 1966, and Support Your Local Sheriff, 1969, helped cement his reputation as the quintessential bad guy. But Elam's characters were never one-dimensional. He brought a rare blend of menace and humor to his roles, infusing them with a layer of complexity that made him stand out in even the most star-studded ensembles. Versatility across genres. Though Elam became particularly known for his work in westerns, his range as an actor extended far beyond the genre. He was equally adept at taking on roles in comedies, dramas, and family films, proving that his talent could transcend the limitations of typecasting. His versatility was evident in his collaborations with some of Hollywood's biggest stars and directors. He also appeared in numerous iconic television shows of the time, including Gunsmoke, Bonanza, The Twilight Zone, and The Lone Ranger. His extensive work on TV helped solidify his status as a beloved fixture in American pop culture, known for his unique character portrayals and undeniable screen presence. A comedic turn, The Texas Wheelers. In the mid-1970s, Elam took on a role that showcased a different side of his acting abilities. In the 1974 to 1975 comedy series The Texas Wheelers, he played Zach Wheeler, a rough-edged, long-lost father who reappears in his children's lives after the death of their mother. The show, which aired on ABC, was short-lived, lasting only 8 episodes, but it offered Elam an opportunity to explore more comedic roles. His portrayal of Zach Wheeler, a flawed but surprisingly warm character, was well received, and the series paired him with emerging talents like Mark Hamill, who would later find worldwide fame as Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. Though the show was not a commercial success, critics appreciated Elam's nuanced performance, highlighting his ability to blend humor with emotional depth. A quirky role in Struck by Lightning. Jack Elam's willingness to experiment with unusual and offbeat roles continued into the late 1970s. In 1979, he appeared in the CBS sitcom Struck by Lightning, where he played Frankenstein's monster in a quirky comedy about a scientist who discovers his ancestor was Dr. Frankenstein. The show's premise was absurd, but Elam's performance as the iconic monster demonstrated his comedic timing and versatility. With his distinctive features and offbeat charm, Elam was a natural fit for such an eccentric role. Unfortunately, Struck by Lightning was canceled after just 3 episodes, though the remaining episodes did air in the UK, offering British audiences a chance to see Elam in this unique comedic turn, a transition to family-friendly roles. Throughout the 1980s, Elam continued to expand his repertoire, taking on roles that allowed him to showcase his comedic instincts. In 1990, he guest-starred in a first-season episode of the popular sitcom Home Improvement, playing Hick Peterson, an eccentric character who crossed paths with Tim Allen's family. Elam's role in this episode, titled Birds of a Feather Flock to Taylor, gave him an opportunity to interact with another Hollywood legend, Ernest Borgnine. His performance was a reminder to audiences that, despite his past as a menacing figure in westerns, Elam was a master of comedic timing, with the ability to bring humor and depth to every role he played. The Cannonball Run and its legacy. In 1981, Jack Elam made a memorable appearance in the action comedy The Cannonball Run, directed by Hal Needham. The film was a chaotic cross-country car race featuring a star-studded cast, including Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, and Farrah Fawcett. Elam's role as Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing, a quirky and eccentric proctologist, was one of the film's standout performances. His offbeat portrayal was a perfect fit for the film's wild slapstick humor. The success of the film led to a sequel, Cannonball Run 2, 1984, in which Elam reprised his role, once again delighting audiences with his unpredictability and eccentric charm. His performance as the wild-eyed doctor remains one of the most memorable aspects of the series. A touching friendship with Mickey Hayes. In 1986, Elam starred in The Aurora Encounter, a film that blended Western themes with science fiction. Elam played Charlie Henkins, a town drunk whose eccentric behavior contributed to the film's offbeat tone. However, it was during the making of this film that Elam experienced one of the most profound personal connections of his life. He befriended Mickey Hayes, an 11-year-old boy suffering from progeria, a rare condition that causes rapid aging. The two formed a deep and meaningful friendship, and their bond was later documented in the 1987 film I Am Not a Freak. Elam spoke fondly of Hayes, noting that their connection was something special. "I've met a lot of people," he once said, "but I've never met anybody that got next to me like Mickey." Their friendship highlighted the warmth and compassion that Elam often kept hidden behind his tough guy persona. Later years and recognition. By the late 1990s, Jack Elam had firmly established himself as one of Hollywood's most iconic and enduring character actors. In 1994, his long and distinguished career was officially recognized when he was inducted into the Hall of Great Western Performers at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City. This honor placed him alongside the most respected names in Western film history, a fitting tribute to his contributions to the genre. For Elam, the recognition was a reminder of his years of dedication to the craft, from his early villainous roles to his later comedic and offbeat characters. The award symbolized his place in Hollywood's storied history. Elam's personal life and legacy. Jack Elam's personal life was as full of ups and downs as his professional one. He was married twice, first to Jean Louise Hodgert, whom he married in 1937. Their marriage lasted until 1961, when Hodgert tragically passed away from colon cancer. Only months later, Elam remarried, this time to Margaret M. Jennison, with whom he would spend the next 42 years of his life. The couple remained together until Elam's death in 2003. Elam's passing, due to congestive heart failure, marked the end of a remarkable career. Despite his gruff exterior on screen, those who knew him described him as a warm and approachable man with a unique sense of humor and a deep loyalty to his friends and family. Final thoughts on Jack Elam. For those who remember Jack Elam, it's impossible to overlook his distinct look, his lazy eye, his weathered face, and his unforgettable presence. Whether as a villain in a Western or as a comedic character in later years, Elam brought an intensity and charm that made every performance unique. Behind the scenes, Elam was known for his candidness and unfiltered opinions, particularly when it came to his contemporaries. His discontent with the way Hollywood glorified leading men like Gary Cooper reflected his frustration with the industry's tendency to favor looks over talent. To Elam, Hollywood often overlooked the hard-working character actors who gave films their soul, and that imbalance was something he never fully accepted. Nevertheless, Jack Elam's legacy lives on, not just in the roles he played, But in the mark he left on American film and television,